April 16th, 2010. I just had lunch with a very wonderful friend of mine, Ewald Pointner, Dr. Ewald Pointner. He's a beautiful believer, beautiful born-again believer. So I put together a video. You'll recognize him because he's one of the people that appear on the icon for YouTube. He's in the background. You also see his name on the name legend for YouTube as well. But the video may seem a little disjointed or random, only because there was a diverse group of people there, and so the subject changed frequently. So what I'm going to do is put together as much pertinent biblical wisdom as I'm able to. But enjoy, and God bless you, and have a wonderful day.
But by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, there is the commandment to know what God has said, and He has said it in the Bible. I mean, that's a commandment of Jesus. And now, but
So if you
again,
believe in Jesus, you've got to believe.
Some more decaf?
Sure.
well, I do.
Great Dane.
I was recording you. I mean, wisdom speaking. So we might as well document it.
Such a big dog that you
Does this make you uncomfortable?
Oh no,
Okay.
not at all.
ear canal.
See,
Or
I
like the
feel
back
this
of the
way.
Yeah, my spring of water dogs.
We are before God at all time, inescapably,
That's correct.
right?
I
So
used to have to do my dogs.
I try to please God, and if I please God, it doesn't really matter much in one way what man thinks. The
Definitely
sad
not.
part is they should please Him too, but
Yes.
they don't want to.
No.
That's where the problem is, you know.
Options Society. His daughter does for Beagle, but he also works in one of the main.
But no, I would encourage you read the scripture.
Yes?
Yeah, read especially Romans. Romans is the only systematic theology book. I mean, the whole Bible is theology, I'm sure. But that is systematic theology of creation, of what happened with man, what God had to do in order to save man, and what it's all about and how we ought to live. I mean, there's no book that is that, precise in the whole sketch of it.
I have the book right now that Ken gave me. It's called The Message.
Yeah.
I've read all the Old Testament. Now I'm into the New, and I'm reading. I think I'm in Luke right now.
Look at the dogs. They're supposed to be 10 pounds. They're like dogs.
I think I've read John and a couple other.
But if you, I don't know, like if you were to read the New Testament, you have Matthew first, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and then you have Acts, 1st, 2nd Corinthians, and all the letters.
Matthew, Mark, because I have a friend that's back home that's a Methodist.
Yeah,
And she told me the order to read them, in which to read them.
yeah.
So I'm doing that right
I
now.
was told, like, get on it to start with John.
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned.
Oh,
to it.
yeah, I did.
John and Romans, I would suggest. I mean, we ought to know the whole, but you
Yeah.
got to start somewhere. So John and Romans would open up your perspective to the whole revelation of God from beginning to the end. So you know where to put things. Like, for instance, if a kid goes to school for the first day and comes home and his father says, "Well, did you pull a square root?" The kid said, "What's that?" Father, what are you sending to school? Can't put a square root. Well, you got to first learn basic math before you can come
Right.
to that. Scripture is the same way. You got to learn.
You gotta crawl
to-
before you can walk.
That's
yeah.
right.
One
That's
step.
exactly the point.
That's like we have an apprenticeship program in our trade.
Yeah.
Well, we start off, the kids start off learning how to lay out things that's simple first, but they have shortcuts, but they don't teach shortcuts in apprenticeship school. They want them to learn the long way, then you figure out the shortcuts later on.
Cute joke comes to mind. This plumbing company had hired a couple of young fellows, to work. And so they were working together, and then lunchtime came, and the old guys were already at lunch and eating, and then the 2 or 3 of the younger ones came, and the old guys, they're, "What's the matter with you? Can get your job done, and so on." And then the young kids, they told them, "Oh, well, we had to do this, that, and the other." So one of the old fellows says, "You don't even know what it's like. When we learned, you know what they did to us? What did they do? They let us lay 3 lengths of pipe. 3 lengths, that's all. Then they turned the water on and we had to stay ahead of it.
Like that would really
Leave
work.
it to the old fellow.
You know, I used to work out here.
Shed door was open too.
I tell you what happened yesterday.
I got French fries.
Oh, did I give you the wrong one? I did, I'm
I'll
sorry.
take
we're
the, I
just-
I always take extra time.
Yep,
Thank you.
here you go. You're welcome.
I woke up about 6:45 and I still felt tired. And I actually said,
Anita and Connie.
thank you.
Could you do me a favor? Could you bring just a small little dish with some hot sauce?
Think a little bit about it. You know, like I've often said to people come to, oh, I read 3-4 chapters for devotion this morning. I said, well, what did you read? No, he didn't know. I said, see, you don't read that much. You don't know what you're talking about. I said, you better off to read 1 or 2 verses
Yeah.
and think about them and contemplate
Yes.
and understand and ask questions, you know.
Randy?
Then you say, well, I read all this, and then you don't know, you know.
Let's face it, I know myself, I have to do it over and over again.
All other things, but I'm still not an expert. You know, and they do that with others, and so they expect that the people that are introduced that way that they can answer the question, and if they don't, they try, and that's usually where heresies start. You know, they try to explain it, and they don't know for sure, so they, you know, mix something up. And
Supposed to go
Yeah.
going to my union banquet.
I don't know. I'm still learning myself.
Retirees luncheon, just before that, a couple of days before.
I mean, there's so much more in Scripture that I just was pondering in the reading that I did, you know, about creation. You want to maybe put this in the back of your mind. In Job chapter, I think it's 38 to 41, God asked Job 77 questions about creation and all, and Job can't answer one. Not 1 out of 77. You know,
Usually when I'm home, I get a
Job could
notice in the
answer.
mail.
But in the end, he said, I have spoken of things I knew nothing about.
Today I put it in
I
my briefcase.
heard of you by the hearing,
I got the
but
guy's name.
now I
That's all.
see
His
you,
name is
wherefore
Ewald.
I abhor myself in dust and ashes. You know, and he came to realize what he is before God. But the thing that always had intrigued me too is
I
when
know his last name.
Satan was tempting Job, and you read that phrase, but Job would not sin with his mouth. He didn't, but he sinned in his heart. And it later on comes out when he said, I curse the day that I was born, and cursed be the man that brought, you know, knowledge of a child being born, like the announcement of his birth. So he was harboring that all along. He didn't say it, but it was there, and obviously God knew it. You know? So you don't know what's in my heart, but God does. You only know what I share with you.
Like God knew.
Yeah, that makes a difference. Did you clean your terminal?
Oh, I didn't get around to it yet. I got some spray he gave me to put on.
Yeah.
It has been starting.
2 weeks in a row out here, his car wouldn't start. So
That's
he's sitting
funny.
in the car praying for the car to start. So I says, well, pick up the hood. So I went in there and I shook the terminals, you know, the cables, and luckily
But
it
they
started.
look good. They look tight and clean.